Have you ever considered investing in securities, but never really knew how, or just got discouraged by those internet ads that claim to teach you how to turn 10,000 euros into a million? Well, in this video, I plan to give you an honest introduction to brokerage accounts, how to open one, and make your first trade in 5 simple steps. If you just got on this new channel, hi, I'm Julian with My Finance Pals, and I'm making videos on topics that will give more value to your personal finances. If you're into this content, then consider subscribing. But for now, let's get back to how to open a new brokerage account. Opening your first brokerage account seems like a difficult process, but it isn't really that complex. Before diving into those 5 steps on how to open a brokerage account, I would just want to dive a little bit into the reasons why you need a brokerage account. And first of all, the first reason that comes into my mind is access to investment opportunities. By having a brokerage account, you can basically invest in shares, bonds, funds, and various other financial instruments. And that's really a great added value. The second reason why is diversification. You might have investments into saving accounts, even though they don't pay so much lately, into precious metals, land, or real estate. And just adding that brokerage account with that investment portfolio to your overall investments brings diversification and added value. And the third reason why is it gets you committed to saving and to investing. If you have funds transferred to your brokerage account and invested in different securities, it's less likely that you will use those funds for an impulse shopping. It's not that they are not accessible there, it's just that you have additional steps to get to those funds. So let's look at the 5 things to consider before opening a brokerage account. So the first real step is to open a bank account.
This might sound basic and rather obvious, but there are a lot of countries with high number of unbanked people.
A bank account will serve as the connection from your brokerage account to your money. The second step is to choose the type of brokerage account you would like to open. In US, there are a bit more types of brokerage accounts. There are a lot of them that are related to pension, retirement plans. And in this video, I would like to focus on the brokerage accounts which are taxable. The pension related brokerage account, let's call them like that, they are really great. They have a lot of advantages such as tax benefits, but they also have a lot of disadvantages. The fact that you don't have access to those funds immediately. You have to wait a number of years until you can sell your portfolio. So that's a first differentiation of brokerage accounts. A second differentiation of various types is related to the funds in the brokerage account. You can have cash accounts and margin accounts. Cash accounts are the ones with which you're using your own cash, your own funds, and margin accounts allows you to trade shares or bonds using borrowed funds. And I really recommend you as a beginner to open a cash account. Okay, this is the step number 2. So step number 2 was finding a proper brokerage account, and this would be a taxable brokerage account and a cash account. So the third step in opening a brokerage account is actually selecting a brokerage firm. And before doing that, you have to investigate certain things. First one, you have to decide for yourself on which market you want to invest in. And here, for example, in my case, I was interested in the US market and the Asian markets. So I chose a broker that will enable me to access those markets. So the second thing to consider are fees, either custody fees or trading fees. And there are big differences for brokerage firms in terms of how much they charge for their services. Usually traditional banks where you will have your current account charge quite high fees. They can be up to 10 times more than the fees charged by online brokers. So you have to keep that in mind. And the third thing is to decide whether you want to do your own tax declarations or you would like to have this done for you by the brokerage firm. In the case that you want it to be done by the brokerage firm, it usually is going to be more expensive for you. And now, just to give you some example of what type of brokerage firm you can choose from. If you're in US, I would recommend you to look at Robinhood. They don't charge you any fees for trading, and their business model is to make money out of ads revenue. So this is quite nice. The only downside is that you have quite a big access to the US stock market, but not so big for other markets. You only have around 250 global listed shares that you can invest in. But also what is nice is that you can also invest in funds in using Robinhood. If you're interested, for example, in the Romanian market, there you can either open an account with Tradeville or with BT Capital Partners or other companies. Another option would be to trade shares using Revolut. This would be actually a very good option for a beginner. The downside again here is that they only offer 300 US listed companies, so you don't have a big option here. And they also don't offer index investing, so you can't invest in indexes. The pluses for trading with Revolut are no fees for trades. You can have, depending on the account you have with Revolut, from 3 free trades to up to unlimited free trades. And you can also do fractional share trading. Shares tend to be very expensive in the UK or the US market. You can easily pay €1,000 or more on one share. And with fractional share trading, you can purchase just a portion of that share. The last but not least, I would mention DeGiro as another broker. This is an all-around good broker. This is also the one that I'm using. It gives you access to a lot of markets, and it's also pretty convenient. It doesn't have any custody fees, and the trading fees are very, very low. It's also one of the brokers that you have to do your own tax declarations. But if you don't mind getting your hands dirty with the taxes, then you should be fine with it. The 4 steps to do before opening and making your first trade is transfer the money from your current account to your broker account. This might take from 2 to 3 days after you initiate the payment. And one thing to consider is that some brokers actually charge you negative interest rate on the amount you have with them that you don't use for investments. Let's say you have €1,000 and you spend half of it for buying a share and the rest you just keep it there for opportunities in the future. Well, on that half of your funds, the €500 which are left in your account with the broker, they will charge negative interest rates. It's not like with the banks. If you have a deposit or if you have your current account in the bank, you will not be charged negative interest rates because of various regulations. But with the brokers, they are allowed to do that. So just keep that in mind. My recommendation to overcome this is have a well-defined strategy before investing, and when you have this strategy, transfer the money to your broker account and do your trades as fast as possible and have that settled. And in this way you will not have money in your brokerage account that they will charge you negative interest on that. So now we come up to the last step, the 5th one. And here is just about the market research, the company research, everything that you do to decide on which is the best investment for you, and the actual order, the actual trade. There are different types of orders here, and I'll explain this more into another video. And with this we come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. I do have another one coming up which will detail more on how to place an order with your broker. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.